today's beverage of choice is hot Ribena because guess what? I have a cold. Can you tell? Hey everyone, welcome back to my placement vlogs. This is the second vlog in the placement series. If you haven't watched the first one, which goes over the first 2 weeks of placement, I'll pop a card up at the top there. You can go click on that and watch that. Probably a better idea if you did that before watching this video. So basically these placement vlogs go over 2 weeks while I'm on my placement with Imajica. So this vlog will be looking at weeks 3 and 4 of placement, so let's just dive right into it. At the start of week 3 we had a sales rep from GF Smith come in, Paul Scarf. He was amazing, really informative about paper. In uni you don't get much opportunity to play about with different finishes and papers and stocks. Like you kind of just go with what's given to you. You might go to Hobbycraft and buy different kinds of paper, but nothing extreme, nothing like this. This was amazing. So Paul came in and talked us through the new release of Colour Plan, which is GF Smith's biggest, most well-known range, full of bright different coloured papers, different weights, really nicely dyed paper. And he explained to us what this new range had and how it was presented. It was in this little nice yellow book with a hole in it. It's very cool. And another really lovely thing he gave us was this diary that was made with I can't remember what paper it was, I haven't got it with me, but it was just beautifully put together. It was just really nicely hand bound, very personal, about Italian family life, I believe he said, and it just had really nice quotes about things people had experienced from their earlier lives, and it was just a lovely gift. For most of the samples he brought with him, he brought in a sample for the studio and then a sample for me, which I thought was amazing. I was ecstatic to be receiving these paper samples because it's not something you really get if you don't work in a studio. I've never really contacted a paper supplier for a wee sample booklet of their papers. I've never done that before, so now I have a little booklet for GF Smith, a Colour Plan paper range, which I think is amazing. And yeah, Paul just really chatty and just made me feel really comfortable about design with paper. It's something you don't really think about sometimes when designing, or at least I've not really considered. But for a recent project I was doing over on my placement, I was asked to design a folder for keeping documents in for a company called Red Rooster. They're all about lifting and hire equipment. So basically this folder was going to contain documentation that could be given to a client. So keeping that in mind, I was thinking of that while I was designing it and looking at the papers and feeling them and thinking about the touch, the feel, the presentation. This folder needed to be presented to the client in a way that kind of showcased them as a whole, because it was the first thing they were going to see before opening up and revealing the product inside. So it really needed to be a brand example, and I really enjoyed doing this. It was something I hadn't really done before with cuts and folds and InDesign, so that was interesting. Another project I got to help out on at the end of week 3 was the kind of mock-up of a web layout for a barber company called Sovereign. They're really high-end barbers. They've got really nice photography. They get a photographer coming in nearly every week taking photos of the cuts. Very slick and polished, and I quite liked kind of mocking up something for their website. It was very quick what I did because the deadline was that day, so I just kind of got to help a little bit in that and then left it to the guys to kind of finish off. Week 4 was fun because I finally got to demonstrate something that I am very passionate about, which is film. I was asked by Jeff to help film a how-to video for one of their clients. So basically my job was to talk to a camera and talk through the process of setting up an email signature, something I'd never done before, like setting up an email list signature. So before I even filmed, I had to research what I was to talk about, how to even make this email signature happen. It was very difficult. It still is very difficult. You wouldn't think email signatures are so tasking, but they are. And then once I knew what I was saying, I scripted it, got it approved, and then went down to the kitchen to film, used the lights, used my camera, set it all up. It was very fun, but also some words that I was not comfortable pronouncing, or I just couldn't pronounce, and it's just a bit of a mess.
Authentication. Oh my god. Why can't I say this word? Authentication.
One thing I've never really had with my video making content is somebody constantly telling me to change it, in a good way, constantly being like, could you do this? Could you do that? Could you change this? Could you edit that? Can you cut this? Can you slow that down? Can you, like, it's interesting not having me be the final say. Like with my vlogs, I edit them, I review them, and then I upload them. There's not really a second person to say, nah, that's not okay, you need to change it. It's just me. I've had feedback in the past from my peers and lecturers and like guidance with how to structure my vlogs, and that's been super helpful, but at the end of the day, it's always me saying that's the final draft and that's the one that's going live. Whereas with this client project, it was also a corporate video, so it had to be quite, perfect, and that's very new to me, to make sure that something is bang on. So there is mistakes in it, and it's kind of hard to kind of get past that sometimes when you're like not perfect. You're still a student, you're still learning, so of course you're gonna make mistakes, but it's just hard when you know you're tasked with such a big project. You're like, oh my god, this is my project, I need to nail it, and then you don't, and you're kind of go, oh, it's so close. But that's the thing, like, placement is for learning. You're not going to get everything right the first time, and that's why they keep telling you to change things. It's a learning process, and you if you don't embrace that, you're not going to really take anything from it. So I am embracing this, and I am taking on board the changes they say, and it's good. It's improving me and my process, and that's a good thing, and I'm really, really, what is the word I'm looking for? Grateful. I'm really grateful for the feedback they give me. And at the tail end of the week, I got to do some photography, which was hella fun. So basically, one of the first projects I ever worked on my placement was a website called Scotland Unveiled. I was just resizing images and making them fit the website template, basically for the first couple of days of my placement. So it was kind of fun to go back to the Scotland Unveiled project and do some photography for it. But before I even got to do photography for that, I had to test using Jeff's 5D. I've not used a full frame camera before. I'm used to my 700D, which is very basic budget. So getting handed a proper full frame camera, of course I need to experiment a little bit. So on my lunch break, I was asked to take some shots in the studio just to play about with the camera and see what I thought and get to grips with all the settings. So I got out my little Lego dudes on my table, which I didn't realise are Craig, Jeff and Stephen. So I took photos of them in their, settings, Craig on the computer doing some editing, and Jeff taking some photos because he's into his photography, and Stephen getting his photo taken. That was Craig's idea. It was really fun and I really enjoyed it, but I was just playing about just to see how I could use the 5D, but I thought it was kind of funny and I wanted to include it in this vlog. But it wasn't really placement based, it was just me faffing about in the studio. So yeah, later that day we went out to Barra Castle and took some photos for the Scotland Unveiled website. It was an interesting experience. I've not used a 5D before of portraits or anything like that. It was quite difficult. I struggled, but I think we got some good shots. I wish I had got more. I feel kind of bad that I didn't really know what I was doing, but it's a learning process. Not everything's going to be perfect. I need to accept that, but also when you're on placement, you kind of want to make a good impression. So yeah, that's been my past 2 weeks of placement. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please subscribe or comment down below, leave a like, any of that fun stuff. Again, I'll leave links to Imajica and my Facebook and Instagram down in the description. Please go check them out, give them a like, give them a follow, all that jazz. In last week's vlog, I announced that I was going to publish the Purgatory article. I know that's not related to placement, but I have published that now, so if you want to check that out, there'll also be a link for that in the description. I have linked it on my Facebook page, but again, I'll just put it down there so you can go check it out. Thank you. And yeah, next week I'll be back with a personal vlog. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!